What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Breaking News. $292 billion of unspent EIDL loan and grant money is available. It is Thursday, June the 10th, 2021. Please do me a huge favor, give this video a thumbs up, hashtag EIDL with your comments below. Many of you have in fact noticed that I own a few more shirts other than just black tees, because I am in the process of upgrading my game so that I can help grow your small biz. When we launch this website in the next week or two, soon to be a mobile app, some of you, I'm telling you, are going to become multi-millionaires in the next 5, 10, 15 years and beyond. So ladies and gentlemen, pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, forgot it yesterday, glass of wine, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to those who've noticed I, in fact, own a few more shirts other than just black Game of Thrones. I mean, this is a Michael Kors. I happen to be a big fan of his stuff. So you're going to see me a little dressier in the weeks, months, and years ahead because I got big plans. Big plans with the media, big plans with a podcast, big plans to help grow your small biz. We all know by now we can't depend on the federal government or the SBA. So we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and get to work so that we can make each and every one of you as much fucking money as you can possibly handle. So ladies and gentlemen, what's this deal about the IRS being pissed off with the SBA to the point where they stopped processing 4506Ts for 3 weeks? What about these SBA contractors that are walking out under stress and quitting the SBA, which is why they're running help wanted ads nonstop? And what else do we have? Loan officers that are becoming customer service because they either can't handle the pressure or they don't know what the fuck they're doing. All that and more, ladies and gentlemen. So I already said pull up a chair. But look, I have a solution to the problem. Me and my fancy shirt have a solution to the fucking problem. Miss Isabel Guzman, you are sitting on $292 billion. Her number's not mine. $260 billion of unspent loan money, $28 billion of unspent targeted EIDL advance funds, and over $4 billion of the $5,000 supplemental. You add all that up, it's $292 billion. And at the rate they're going of only processing $3 billion a month in loans, it's going to take between 7 and 8 years to get through the money. And with respect to the targeted EIDL advance, processing about 10,000 applications a week, we're looking at upwards of 3 years just to get to 1 million people that are funded. But in today's video, I'm going to share 2 ways right now that the SBA, in conjunction with the federal government, can solve this problem and get everybody watching me 10 grand regardless of size, location, or credit score, 24 months of working capital, $2 million loan caps, and we may have to wait on the forgiveness, but you can get the first 3 out of 4 in the next 30 days or less. Solution number 1. Budget reconciliation. Mr. Mitch McConnell, or as I like to call Darth Vader yesterday, Mitch, drooling on myself. Mitch has no soul, right? It's like tumbleweed through the fucking desert. He doesn't care anybody, including himself, his wife, his state of Kentucky. He doesn't even know how to fucking spell EIDL, let alone pronounce it. The guy is absolutely worthless with respect to you and your small business owner. And by the way, for all you partisan hacks that think I'm taking too many shots at the Republicans, I've done just as many with the Democrats, like Big Ben fucking Cardin, who, by the way, is telling everybody, including us, it's the Republicans' fault, right? Remember last year, Ben Cardin kept saying over and over and over again in all those Facebook Lives, well, it's President Trump and Secretary Mnuchin that told Miss Javita Carranza to ration the grant and cap the loans. All that's true. All that's true. Last year, we had to blame the Republicans, including President Trump, for destroying millions of small business owners. However, now that the Democrats control every single branch of government for the last 6 months, they're in the process of spending over $6 trillion more than any president in the entire history of this country. But they can't seem to come together with the Democrats and the Republicans to slide over $15 billion That's all we need, because there is no bipartisanship. Just ask Darth Vader. The Republicans won't vote for a Democrat bill or vice versa, not even if they want to. They all have millions, or at least hundreds of thousands of middle-income constituents in their state. 5 million of the 10 million applications or invitations that Ms. Guzman sent out months ago are for middle-income families. Minorities, women, our great veterans, thank you for serving this country. They don't just reside in low-income communities, aka purple zones. Many of them have worked their fucking ass off to get themselves and their families out of poverty. But for whatever reason, now the Democrats, last year the Republicans, they refuse to remove this class warfare nonsense that is slowing down the SBA to the point where loan officers are becoming customer service because they can't handle the pressure. The IRS is sick and fucking tired of 4506T requests to the point where they ignored the SBA where it is for 3 weeks, didn't process anything. So if you're wondering why things are so damn slow, it's because the federal government / IRS can't stand the SBA and or vice versa. They're melting down from within, probably in part because of the pressure. Guys like myself, Speak and See, Rod Scrott, Robert Dunham, you know who they are, Stephen Carlson, a writer over at Skip, Max Maher, Aubrey Janik, Dan over at Allegedly, great channel, by the way. He's gone off on another tangent. I really enjoy his stuff. But we're all trying to do the same fucking thing, and that's get you the money that you were promised in the CARES Act. But we have no bipartisanship. So we have one or two ways. Reconciliation. We don't need a single Republican vote. Vice President Harris breaks the tie. So when this $2 trillion-ish, and they're going it alone, goes across the finish line for infrastructure, we need a line item in there that says, here's $15 billion for the balance of 10 grand that's promised to everybody, whether you're in low, middle, or high income in the CARES Act. Otherwise, we're going to have more loan officers quit and become customer service. We're going to have more threats from the IRS towards the SBA that if they don't stop asking them for fucking documents that they can't even find, let alone process, the whole thing's a disaster. But if they give the $15 billion for the EIDL Small Business Act, known as S513, all that goes away. Because there is no low-income requirement. There is no 30% economic loss. The fact that they've only funded $159,000 after 4.5 months in the targeted EIDL advance, still having $28 billion unspent, is absolutely fucking insane. But the reason for that is they've got these, apparently, contractors that are cracking under pressure. They can't handle guys like me lighting their ass on fucking fire every day. All that goes away. Miss Guzman, why in the world are you not on the phone with Jackie Rosen, who told you over a month ago in her response to your letter, you don't need congressional authorization to change the rules? Miss Javita Carranza capped the loans and fucking rationed the grants. That was a violation of the law. Why can't you tweak the law or bend the rules in our favor and say, you know what? After 4.5 months of this fiasco, after having not funded 93% of those who applied with respect to the targeted EIDL advance and, of course, the $5,000 supplemental, I am making an executive decision that rather than spend the next 3 years trying to dole out this fucking money and 7 to 8 years with respect to the loans, I'm changing the rules. I'm opening it wide open to low, middle, and high. I'm getting rid of the low income, the economic loss requirements in the low-income community bullshit because we can't handle it. We have contractors that don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're going through a mental breakdown as we speak. They can't seem to read from one side of the ledger to the other, and we just can't afford to lose any more small businesses, let alone mention the fact the live venue grant, it's probably the biggest fucking fiasco of them all. 13,000 live venues. Steven Tyler is one example I mentioned yesterday. Applied. In some cases, they're looking for millions of dollars. As of a few days ago, they funded 50. 50. Chuck Schumer, you pot-smoking clean car hack. Are you aware that your pet project is a fucking disaster in 99.5% of our live venue operators that are looking for help? You remember when you were in the park trying to sing, in fact, the worst I've ever seen in my entire life, even though you are 70 years old. Yeah, I'm on a roll today, ladies and gentlemen. I am just here to tell you, along with the SBA, we can bring this madness to an end. They can shut me and the others right the fuck up here and now. We could process, like Miss Javita Carranza did last year, 5.7 million people in a drop of a hat. Why? Because we won't have to go through the ledgers anymore. We won't have to verify whether someone's in a purple zone or not. We simply say, if you got $1,000 per employee last year, you're getting the balance. And if we have any questions or concerns related to that infamous fraud, we're going to ask you to send us a driver's license front and back and a voided check front and back. And then everybody, I would estimate within 30 days or less, would have the $10,000 they were promised in the CARES Act. The second and only way at this point, because there is no bipartisanship, is an executive order from President Biden. And in fact, I actually like this one the best. Little bit of advice, not that he's going to take it. Mr. President, you call yourself Middle Class Joe. Every fucking day on Twitter, I see you ranting and raving on how the middle class has built this country. When in fact, and I know that you and especially your staff know this, we have 5 million plus middle American folks that live outside of a purple zone that so far are getting a big fuck you with respect to the $10,000 grant they were promised in the CARES Act. You can come along once they juice you up with a little Geritol or whatever it is that they give you so that you can actually function throughout the day. You got to tweak the snowflakes and those hardcore Dems. I mean, come on. He knows damn well 5 million of his fellow middle classites are starving to death, hanging on by a thread. With respect to the live venue grant, 99.5% have not gotten a fucking dime over the last 4.5 months. You can stand in front of the lectern and we'll even let you read off those teleprompters that you're a fan of and say, look, it's suddenly come to my attention, my fellow middle-class Americans, that over 5 million of you have not gotten the $10,000 grant that you were promised in the CARES Act. Therefore, being middle-class Joe, I hereby order Miss Isabel Guzman to reappropriate what we understand to be $292 billion that, according to that nut job, Jason McMahon, could take us upwards of 8 years to spend. And just in time for the elections next year, Mr. President, you and the Democrat Party in this case would look like an absolute hero. Unfortunately, if you refuse to take my advice, or if Chuck Schumer won't slide $15 billion so we can get it through with respect to reconciliation on this $2 trillion infrastructure bill, guess who's going to be blamed when we go to the ballot box November of next year? You and the Democrats. And well, there's some snowflakes that are giving me thumbs down right now because they can't stand the fact that I'm calling out their own fucking party for turning their backs on our veterans who have served this country, our black and brown folks, especially here in Atlanta where I live, and yeah, the women of this country. And I'm not even going to get into the fact that the white guys like me were told to go stand in the back of the line by your fucking administration who's being sued and losing in the court of law. So if I haven't planted 2 seeds and pissed off at least half of you, then I have not done my job today. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, always remember, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, I love each and every one of you, and thank you so much for watching.